Welcome, everybody, to the next episode of Beyond the Rolls. I'm Kevin. We have Kirk here, my co-host.
Hey, everybody.
And today we have Brittany here with Shirts from Fargo. She's going to talk to us a little bit about her business and how she got started with that. Let's just start it off here. Brittany, who are you?
Well, I'm Brittany, and I'm with Shirts from Fargo, but I'm actually originally from Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, which is a super small lake community about 50 miles east of here. Mm-hmm. And I moved to Fargo probably about 15 years ago to go to college, and here I am. I guess I just never left.
So in Fargo now here, we have this shirt pressing business, Shirts from Fargo. Tell me a little bit about that.
So Shirts from Fargo, I am the owner of it of about just a little over a year now. And we're basically an on-demand shirt business. We do a little bit of other things besides just shirts, but primarily it's shirts. So really love it.
So tell me more about what your niche is. I says, you don't do everything.
No, exactly. So our niche is more or less working with nonprofits and small organizations of all kinds to be able to fill just on-demand orders for them. So instead of doing a run of, say, 50 shirts or 1,000 shirts or the bigger screen printing type jobs, we actually find our niche in kind of like the 30 or less type quantity.
Okay.
So why is that valuable? I mean, you're saying on demand, so most people think you just gotta go out and you can buy the shirts and buy a bunch. Again, explain the difference. What's the difference on that?
The difference is our clientele and the people that we work with don't have to carry an inventory. So they're not having to go to a traditional screen printing shop and buy 50 shirts when they maybe only need 12 of them. And then they end up getting kind of stuck with the odd sizes that they don't necessarily have an order for. And then when they do get more orders, maybe it's not for the sizes that they have. So it kind of fits that perfectly. Plus, we kind of live in a want it now society, and people don't want to wait a super long time for things.
We do want to know. I always want to know.
I know. Yeah, and with the processes we use, as long as we have the blank in stock, we can usually turn things around in a day or two instead of 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So obviously you're talking, they don't have to put up front money.
Right.
That's an advantage. Obviously, nonprofits would like to see that. Obviously, they like to conserve their cash and they only spend it basically when they need it.
Exactly.
You don't have a blank. How fast can you get it? I mean,
actually, we work with Sanmar, and they have a distribution just about 4 hours east of us. So we get it next day, and we're lucky enough to try to work primarily with the one, right? So then instead of having to just order one thing and pay shipping, if we have everybody kind of ordering from the same place and all of our collections come from the same place, we get shipments usually 2 times a week, sometimes 3. So people never really have to wait for their orders to be done.
That's really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fantastic.
It must be helpful with inventory management. You never really have to have.
No, we don't really. We carry some stock of some of the, I guess, more popular items just because we know we're going to sell them. Mm-hmm. And so it's not a huge risk on our part to have those in place. And it also kind of helps decorate the shop a little bit.
So on-demand HTV pressing,
yes.
Are you getting into any other things, any other areas you're looking to explore or branch out in?
So we just got a sawgrass sublimation printer. And so that allows us to not only do kind of a vintage look to some of the shirts, which is really fun for us. We can also do things like mugs. And we actually just started doing socks this last week. So it's really fun to add some different products besides just the HTV shirts and other types of blanks. Mm-hmm. But also we can do those on demand, and we do them on demand. So
yeah, you have a lot more capabilities, a lot more products you can offer.
We haven't even touched the surface of it. There's so many things that we could do with that, and we have a little bit of free time every week. Not a lot, which is good, but enough to kind of learn something new.
Yeah.
So doing HTV, you say now I'm gonna buy a die sub. What was that kind of decision process of a shop? Think about that. They're strictly HTV and say, all right, now why would I add another process to my shop? What would make that?
My primary reason was the mugs, just because we have a lot of clients that were wanting these mugs. And like I said, our clients typically aren't the ones that want the inventory all the time. Sometimes, yes, but when somebody's coming to us and we're able to help them with their per piece shirt order or their ones and twos there, we wanted to be able to do that with the mugs as well and not have them need to order in a dozen or 2 dozen of them, which is traditionally how they come, when we were selling them before. So it's nice to be able to do that for them as well. And then the other items just kind of came naturally because it's kind of a cool process.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great compliment to the HCV.
100%. And after you can get over, the investment of the printer is a little bit, but I have had it for a long time and we use that thing pretty much every day. And we did buy some extra ink cartridges. I still haven't had to put them in. So it goes a long ways.
Nice.
Yep.
So cost per square inch, very affordable.
So affordable. It's kind of like the difference between buying the sheet of the vinyl and then buying the big roll, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So
I heard you bought the SG100, so obviously you went the bigger size.
yeah.
Somebody thinking about that, why would they go to the little bit bigger printer over the smaller one?
I think it gives you a world more of possibilities. I'm not sure why you would buy the small one, and I'm glad I didn't. I've also had the joy of doing some hockey jerseys, which with the size of the numbers on these jerseys, there's no way that smaller printer would have allowed me to do the job. I would have had to either turn them to somebody else or do them some other type of way, I guess. Same with the socks. You have to have that size. You just have to. I don't know what you would do with a smaller one. It would make things a lot more difficult, I feel.
So there you go, Kevin. Go big or go home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Always,
Yeah,
always go
exactly.
big.
Well, even speaking of the socks, if we were to have the smaller one, not only would you have to waste a lot of time maybe lining up your papers to get your patterns perfectly, but now you're printing 2 sheets of paper instead of just one. So I guess I don't know what the break even on that is, but even just the time alone, I think it makes just a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you said you worked with a lot of nonprofit.
Yeah, so I guess I could explain my business model a little bit better. So I don't know how exactly we started with one, and then one turned into some more, and then we have other organizations as well. Nonprofits are my favorite just because we like to help people do their good a little bit better. And also when they're not spending a lot of money in inventory and wasting their time doing fulfillment, they can do good even more. So we have our website more or less serves as an e-commerce platform for them to sell their items. Sometimes people have designs. Most of them already have logos, but we help design. We put everything up. We do the hosting. We take care of the shopping cart. We do all of the fulfillment, and we offer pickup as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just sit back and get paid. And they don't have an order minimum. So they don't have to sell 5 of something just to get it printed or just to be able to raise those funds.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's rewarding at the same time.
So a profit center for nonprofits.
Yeah.
They have no upfront costs.
Mm-hmm.
You can order on demand. I mean, it's it's a great niche.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a good
Definitely
revenue
yeah.
stream for them.
Yeah.
Kind of like helping those that help others.
So what was your most meaningful project that you took on, or your funnest one
Gosh.
that you've done so far?
I would say the most fun project that we've done, or the most meaningful, is I wanted to kind of test the waters, and we did a week of giving over the traditional holiday shopping chaos that happens between, I don't know, the day after Thanksgiving and Cyber Week, I guess.
Okay.
And since we're online, we figured we could do Cyber Week too. And so we essentially did buy one, give one free. And so if you were to buy a shirt, right, from one of our nonprofit collections, you would be able to buy another shirt at the same price. So even if it was a very expensive sweatshirt, and essentially, get the gift for free to give. And so we ended up donating a lot of money to our nonprofits, which was really fun. I mean, it would have been very embarrassing if we would have sold 4 things, but we were very busy. And it was great too, because I don't know, I'm sure that went a really long ways with them. So
Yeah. Great way to give back too.
it was a
cool.
great way to give it back. Yep.
Yeah, we said
Yeah.
love giving back. That's kind of our thing here. And
And it was fun to see all the different items too, because it gets kind of boring pressing the same shirt 100 times in a row. I mean, we love all of our work, but it's a little bit more creative when you get to do a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we got to ask. You got a little guest in your lap.
Yes.
So we need some explanation on
This is Cooper. He's our shop hound. He likes to model. He wins the hearts of all the ladies in the store, and he's also a fantastic doorbell.
Oh.
Yep. He started coming to work with me a couple years ago, and he now thinks that he is a human, and he gets quite upset if he's not at home or if he's not at work with us. He just basically sleeps all day unless the door opens.
Mm-hmm.
But look at this little face. I mean,
Nice. He's adorable. He's
I know.
Very
He
well
is. He's
behaved.
very attentive.
and he's an
Yeah.
old man
Looks like he's looking for a treat or something like that.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Must be treat time, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll have to take him out to the snack room after.
Yeah, I love the little hoodie on him.
I know he
So,
does like to wear
he's always very
clothes.
well.
He is dressed very appropriate.
Yes.
He is definitely.
It's chilly today.
It's chilly today
It
here
is.
in Fargo.
A bit windy out there.
hmm
Some other things that we kind of want to talk about and everything. Business models. It's 2020. Do you have like
Yeah.
a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan? Like, where do
Oh
you
my
see
gosh.
your company going?
I
in-
guess we don't have. I feel that we have a really scalable business model, and that there's a lot of people that would benefit from what we do out there. So I guess more or less, I just want to grow to help people do more good, and I don't know, maybe provide a good, solid company for team members to work at.
Yeah.
Maybe
Is it just you, or do you have other employees
Yep.
that work with?
Yep, right
Shirts
now
with that?
there's 3 of us total, and then we have one part-time person who more or less she'll come in and help us with the big orders because we still have those, but she just comes in and basically likes to press, but that's what she likes to do, which is great.
Yeah.
We do it during the day if we have time, but so I guess there's 3 of us more or less.
Okay.
4 if you include, but
Oh,
he
yeah.
doesn't do
Yeah.
much.
He
He actually is counterproductive to getting things done. I think if you added up all the times of the day that I walked by his bed and picked him up.
Well, we have a few dogs here, so I think we're used
Yeah,
to
yeah.
not quite the size of Cooper
We
there.
know.
So thinking about pressing, any tips that like you can talk about is like when you start pressing to like kind of make sure things are lined up.
Oh my goodness.
Not everybody's going to buy a laser alignment off of a press.
Mhm.
What's some just tips you've kind of learned to like, you know what, this is kind of how you do it, simple.
So we have this plastic see-through ruler. I don't know what the intended purpose of it was. I think it came from either Joann or Walmart. And then with a black Sharpie, we have the different lines, for the different placements of like a unisex or a male fit shirt, maybe ladies. And then a lot of the times we end up doing most of our jobs are 2 presses. So how far down from the neck that, we would put the logo in the back of the shirt or something to that effect. If not, always the 4-finger rule is always really good to follow.
I've heard of that one.
Yep.
Unless you got big fingers.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I'm all right.
Yeah,
think
I look
I
at some of the
think
first shirts that I ever pressed and I'm like, I don't even understand. The logo is either like right under the collar or it's like in the middle of the shirt. The vinyl is so much easier than some of the transfers. If you guys are familiar with how those are, you cannot see the front of them
Mhm.
most of the time on some of them anyways. So that can be a little intimidating. I had a few the first time I used them, I cried like 4 times because I was very frustrated. But the masking is nice because you can see right through it.
Mhm.
So that's great.
Super important too, I guess. I mean, if you are doing, run of shirts,
Oh yeah.
making sure they're all looking the same.
Yep.
gotta
Well,
be-
yeah, exactly.
It's definitely a thing you need to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
So, what are some of your most favorite materials to work with?
Oh goodness, there's so many of them, but I guess I really like Thermoflex Turbo, and I love the Caesar EasyWeed metallics a lot,
Okay.
just because they're really trendy right now for us, especially the gold.
Mhm.
Can never go on with gold.
No,
Yeah.
and I love the variety of colors that both of those brands offer. I don't think that we've really ever had any problems matching, which is, in our line of work, everybody has a lot of different colors. So
Oh, yeah.
even though black and white are obviously the most popular,
Mhm.
we do. I love the Thermoflex graphite too.
Graphite, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
a
an uncommon color, but once you see it kind of pressed and
It's kind of trendy. It kind of looks
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
So thinking about this black and white, obviously we know that's
Mhm.
like kind of the bread and butter. How do you kind of get maybe clients, customers to like think beyond that and be like, hey, let's try some other colors. There is other stuff out there because obviously I think that's where the fun is at.
Mhm. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
for
Doing
sure.
colors.
yeah.
So how do you kind of get them thinking beyond that? Like, okay, I don't just need black and white. Maybe I do need that graphite or the Caesar EasyWeed electric or something like that.
I more or less just do the mock-ups with it to show them. I'm fortunate enough where a lot of my clients give me a lot of control, I guess, right away at least. We say like, we'll make up some ideas, show us kind of, or tell us what you're thinking. And then we usually will send them a PDF with just some ideas on it to kind of go with. So like if we were using your guys's logo, maybe we would try to put some metallic in, maybe like in the teal color. that's also in your logo, and then put it on a different color shirt or something, just so that you can see that there are different options out there.
So you're not even gonna really give them the option of plain. You're just gonna give them the option of like, here you go. This is cool. This is trendy, and then that way they're like, okay, I don't even see the black or white option.
Exactly. Because sometimes that's all people can think of is just the black or the white, because that's usually how they see it. So, and they may not know that those are options, because a lot of the times that second color or third color is really expensive. But when you're lucky and enough like us, and we're just doing maybe 1 or 2 shirts of that, it's not quite as daunting as doing 100 shirts with 2 presses.
Like us, you got white.
Yeah.
The colored shirts.
Yeah,
So
You do have
we
colored
got it with
shirts?
these are authentic tie dye.
I was just noticing that actually they're
Yeah.
they're different tie dye.
We're back retro, and it's retro Thursday. So.
Retro Throwback Thursday, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's got to be going back to the you kind of helping out choose the colors and everything. That's got to be nice for the customer too, kind of just less stressful.
Right, because you have to remember these guys aren't experts at shirts; they're experts at what they do.
Yeah.
So if you're not giving them options, you can't expect them to come to you and know what they want.
Yep.
Some people do, right? And sometimes we get something already mocked up, but sometimes they just know they want shirts and they want something that people are going to wear all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, they don't really have super clear ideas. So we can give them that vision.
Yeah.
So going on the shirt idea, obviously you're upgrading them on colors. Typically on a shirt, obviously you think about you go out and get a shirt and it's a cotton, it's $2, whatever, it's scratch-tastic. Are you doing that, or do you just kind of like, am I going to upgrade them to the next level of that too?
We don't really even upgrade. For larger runs, we do always give somebody a good, better, and best option, but we rarely ever sell the good. Like, we don't want to sell you the shirt you're going to mow your lawn in.
Yeah.
We want to sell the shirt because we're working with people that want to create brand awareness, right? And so if you buy the $2 100% cotton shirt, which there is a place for, I'm not saying that there isn't, that your client, the person buying it's not going to wear it all the time. They're going to buy the shirt because they do want to support you and they like what you're doing, but they're not going to wear it. If you sell them like the shirt I have on or this shirt, they're going to wear it all the time because it's super soft. It's going to wash up good, and then they're constantly creating the awareness. So you're getting kind of twofold.
So thinking about the best, is that usually more of a tri-blend, blends?
Yep.
Okay,
100% tri-blend. There's a couple different brands that we work with for that, but they just have their place, I guess, and different fits and things. So for ladies, or for if somebody wants a couple different fits, we like the district ones because they have a really big size range. So you can get them from extra small to 4X. So it can fit everybody. And you can pick if you want it to be like unisex men's or ladies. And then Bella Canvas does have a nice tri-blend as well because they offer it in a big range of colors, and their unisex is kind of, I'd say more unisex because it fits women and men, but they don't have a ladies fit that's quite as good for all sizes. So, and then I don't know, the good is kind of just your typical 60-40 blend, but there's a lot of good choices out there for that. And I don't even know, we don't really have a go-to scratch-tastic. We just don't use them. Unless I want customers to come back.
When it comes to shirts, and if it doesn't have a blend in it, I'm not going to touch it.
And there isn't that big of a price difference. There just isn't. I mean, you're talking a couple dollars. You're like, realistically, it's a couple dollars. Like 3 at the most, and on a $20 or $25 t-shirt. I mean, would you rather pay $20 for the shirt you have on? No offense, I'm sure it's soft. Or would you pay $25 for the shirt I'm wearing?
25 for the one.
Right.
25,
Yeah,
obviously.
for sure.
Again, if they don't wear it, it doesn't do that client or anybody any good. So wanting to wear it is probably most important than anything. So we all have like our favorite shirts we have in the closet, and we're like, yeah, I'm not throwing that away because it's super soft or super good. So definitely makes sense. So
100%.
So once you've started doing this, what are some accessories that you've come across that you're just like, I don't know where was this, when I started?
Oh my goodness. So I had no idea about any of these things when I first started. Like, for example, you cannot do shirt sublimation, in my opinion, without a Teflon sheet, right? because the thing always, the sheet will lift up and it will always, 9 times out of 10, it will ghost your shirt. But that you can kind of hold it down with. The pillows are fantastic too, because it prevents you from getting sometimes the seam. Like when you press, like, let's say you're pressing a logo on a sleeve
Mhm.
and the t-shirt's down. If the shirt's black or dark, you always get kind of that press line. So you can kind of put that in there. Plus it makes the vinyl adhere a little bit better. And my favorite is the little purple weeding hook things you guys sell. I don't know what the name for them is, but it's like it's an X-Acto knife, but like with a hook on the end of it. And I didn't have any.
Yeah, I think it was
Yes.
the weed.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never. I
Branded
didn't.
HCW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transfer else.
I've never before that. I had an X-Acto knife, and I've broken so many of those. But I have the little pin one and then the hook one, or X-Acto knife. It's like this. It's I don't even know what you would use it for. Sewing, maybe, typically. So
I'm a big fan of the hook over the pick. Like, I can't weed with a pick.
Definitely the hook. I'm a hook.
I'm a hook guy,
It's,
yeah.
I think it's way easier, but I guess it's based on personal preference what you're used to. But
Yeah.
I'm a hook
Mhm.
guy. I love it. So,
Mhm.
so going back, thinking about it, starting. If somebody's look at this, like they have a craft cutter, maybe they have a press, but they're looking to maybe kind of make that leap.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about equipment. Like, how important is it, like, to have just like invest in that really good piece of equipment so you're not gonna have issues, or do you think you should just take small steps, or do you just make that leap? It's like, all right, let's just buy good equipment.
I would just buy the good equipment, because even if you can find, I don't know, some press from somewhere online for a couple $100, let's say, and then the heating element goes out in it, or the heating elements are not all the way like in the same spots. Like, you've seen this. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but
Yep.
your shirt's not going to press good.
Mhm.
And so then you're going to end up replacing the press anyways. Plus, you're probably going to lose clients because now you're selling them a shirt and the decoration's falling off of it. And you're down because you have to wait for a new one to come in.
Mhm.
We also have a Graph Tech cutter, which I really like. It's very fast. And I couldn't imagine using or going back with a Cricut after using that. Those have their place, of course, right?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
for doing the bigger ones, it's really nice to have that.
So definitely making a leap. Buy the good equipment. Obviously, you've seen those
Yep.
graph techs, and they like zip and
Mhm.
they're fast.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
makes sense on it. And then obviously press wise, how many presses do you have in your shop?
We have 2. We actually have 2 now. We started with 1, and I'm so happy we have 2, because it makes some of those bigger jobs go by a lot faster.
Mhm.
Or when you have the double-sided jobs, or you have 2 presses, one person can do one side and one person can do the other.
So there's an advantage having two presses in your place.
Yeah.
And I would think too is if you're also doing dye sub and you're doing HTV,
Mhm.
you got 2 temperature extremes.
Yep.
And Kevin, standing around waiting for the press to cool off.
Oh, it's
It's
the
the
worst.
longest
It takes forever.
Time of the day.
Yep,
I'm like, seriously,
yep.
it's like, is this
It's
going to
nerve-wracking.
happen? It heats up like in 10 minutes, I seem like, and then it cools off in like 30 minutes, I swear. So
Mhm.
Or if you have 2 different types of vinyl. So if you're using like some of the patterns you guys sell, right? Or the turbo, that's at a much lower temperature than, some of the other vinyls out there. And then you can actually do both those jobs at the
Yeah.
same time. And most of the time we're using a mix of the 2. So we'll have a pattern and I'll have like an outline or something on it. So you have to press the outline first and then do the pattern. But I can imagine waiting 20 minutes for the press to cool down to finish
Just
one
to do that,
shirt.
yeah.
No.
Yeah. That wouldn't be good. You
Is
get to play
he-
with
is he-
Cooper though.
Is he
yes.
popping the tongue?
No, not right now.
I don't think we've seen a tongue yet.
No.
Nothing yet. So we're waiting.
No.
So pay attention, folks. Maybe
Yep.
he's going to tease everybody.
You can have a dog.
He knows
a
there's
dog
ladies
cam.
on the audience, so maybe
He
he's-
loves girls so much. I don't know how he became such a ladies' man, but sure loves them.
He just was regal.
I know.
That's amazing.
I agree. I never get sick of looking at this face.
So tell us about. We know you're a runner,
Mm-hmm.
and you've ran a few marathons.
Mhm.
And how does that maybe, kind of tie into like some of what you do now?
Oh my
today?
goodness. I never would have even imagined when I first started. I mean, I thought maybe I'd make some cool race shirts because you see all of the things, right, on, I don't know, on at different races, shirts that people or girlfriends have bought and, they have personalized cute little sayings on them. But I've done so many shirts for just my friends and their races, which, I mean, everything adds up. So it's, even though I'm not marketing to do these things, we're doing so many of them,
Mm-hmm.
which is really fun.
That kind of it ties in with like, you know, a whole sense of marketing, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
people know they got that shirt from you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, word of mouth at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And people just like to support people they know they're going to buy it anyways.
Mhm.
So they might as well buy it from a friend rather than buy it from, I don't know, some random site online or whatever the case might be, I guess. I don't know where people otherwise get them, but and there's enough work for everybody. So
Clearly running has passion, so people like to have a tie to the shirt and everything else. So.
oh yeah. Absolutely.
So running, you looking into like doing any custom shoes or anything like that? Or?
I think we could. I don't know that they're shoes that I would want to run a marathon in, but they
Yeah.
might be fun shoes at some point for an event or something. I've seen them,
Mhm.
sublimation shoes, but maybe some socks. I feel the socks we sell are pretty awesome. So I don't know. I think I could probably do a race in those.
Socks would tie in well. I think.
Yeah.
You know.
You got some cool socks, I know.
I know I got a couple of cool socks.
Yeah.
Even from the group here at the team from Heat Transfer Warehouse gave me some cool socks. So,
Awesome.
so you're obviously marketing word of mouth.
Mhm.
Fantastic. You get out there, you go to events and everything else. Kind of tell us about maybe the social media part of it. Is like how's that kind of helped you also keep your presence out there and how important that is. To have a website, but also maybe it's tied in with the social media stuff.
Oh, the social media. I think the social media is super important just because maybe it brings business to us, right? We do have our product feed going into Instagram and Facebook so we can, you know, actually tag the products. So if you are on our Facebook page or on our Instagram page and you want to buy the item rather than just look at the picture of it, you can actually, you know, click on it. It will take you there. But also just for top of mind, right? Because if you're not posting, and also I feel that Facebook almost doubles as like a phone book directory. So maybe you're looking for, I don't know, shirts in Fargo, and you see my Facebook page pop up in your Google or your Yahoo search, you're going to maybe click on that link, right? Well, if I haven't posted content for 3 weeks, do I look as cool as I did initially, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's just a good way to, and also to display your work too. So
And with the younger generations, you know, they're always on social
yeah.
media. I'm
Yep,
sure
absolutely.
that helps create the buzz there too.
I know Cooper just got his very own Instagram account, so we're hoping to grow his following just because he is a model. You know?
Probably has a few custom shirts, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just a few, only
Yeah.
a couple. Only a couple. Today he was wearing his hooded sweatshirt, just because it's cold outside here. But
He dressed for the occasion, dressed appropriate.
Yeah.
he has plenty of them.
So thinking about it, any last words or any kind of words or wisdom you can just
Your
off
sage
the top of your head
advice.
say, hey, do this, don't do this because I fell on my face or whatever else, you know.
Yeah, I would just say, I guess, go get the good equipment, even if it's just one piece. Just start somewhere, and then also a website, super important. Maybe not the selling online, and I would say, I guess 100% don't buy a little bit of stuff from every single person out there. Try to keep a good relationship with a couple of distributors because that shipping will kill you. And then you get to know their product line and their product offerings a little better. Like you guys sell a little bit of everything, which is fantastic because we can get our printer, the paper, and then some vinyl at the same time. Make sense?
Yeah.
Same with the blanks. So
And we love being in all one-stop shops.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's-
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
good.
I mean, there's a
for
lot
us.
of good places out there, right, for all sorts of different things, but it's going to be better, I think, for business to just have the one. You don't need to do it all. You just have to do whatever you need to do. So
So there you go, folks. That's Brittany, Shirts from Fargo, my cohort, Kevin. This is our episode 3. Stay tuned to the soon episode 4. We'll definitely have some excellent guests coming your way. And we appreciate your time, and we'll see you again back at Beyond the Rolls, episode 4.